Hi, my name is Kevin, and I just want to give you a brief video on the Simmons Steelmaster broadhead sharpening system. I've looked on YouTube, and there isn't really that much to go on when it comes to sharpening a curved blade like this, which are kind of goofy. They really are a good broadhead, but I think a lot of people are scared to shoot them. One, because they're big. Number two, because, well, they got a curved blade. Everybody wants a straight blade, but I think this is a really good broadhead, mainly because it's got a super wide cutting diameter, 2 inches, and then they make the other ones that are basically 1 3/4, so they got a really good wide cutting diameter, which is, 2 inches is pretty much like a rage right now. And you can get away with shooting something like this if you're shooting a long bow or a recurve where you're somewhere around 200 feet per second or less. Anything more than that is probably going to go squirrely on you. I'm not sure, but I've never shot a big head out of a compound this big. I mean, I've shot 2-blade, like say for example a Magnus Stinger, and that thing shooting at 267 flies like a dream. And that's a 2-blade head or 4-blade, but that thing shoots really good out of a fast bow. Not that that's super fast, but at a good normal compound hunting speed, it's pretty good, I think. This is my Centaur longbow, and I just have these broadheads mounted on a gold tip traditional broad carbon arrow. And these ones are the 0.3 straightness, so these things fly great. They fly where my field points go. I also put them on a broadhead spinner just to spin them and make sure that they're spinning straight. If they don't spin straight, you can heat them up and turn them a tiny little bit. Eventually, you can get them to fly really good, and it's not that hard. These ones actually flew pretty good right off the bat. So, also, I just want to say that Dave Olge from Simmons has been really helpful, and he's been super nice and helping me to get set up, and he's been really patient and super nice guy. You can't go wrong with anything from him. This here Simmons Steelmaster obviously is from him, and it's also a great way to sharpen these type of broadheads. Also, there's a guy, I think his name's Chris Spikes. He has a tutorial also on there using like a diamond 3-sided file sharpener, and using another holder that this goes into, and it was shaving hair, so it worked pretty good. This one here is basically it's got a holder. Like most sharpening systems have some type of holder. You can use this for a knife also, straight blade. It'll pretty much sharpen anything, but you can also get with this, you can get a diamond hone with this that's like this, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see that really good, but it's curved, which is really good because, well, this is curved, and when you try to sharpen the flat edge on this, when you get to the corners or around the curve, it doesn't want to sharpen it really well unless you're on the flat end like that, or you're at this end. But when you come to the middle, that's why this is rounded like that, and seems to work really good. Plus also they give you 2 different grits of ceramic stones. So the first part of this is basically putting the broadhead in here, and you're trying to basically keep it even on both sides like that, and try to keep it pretty much even that way, flat, well, as flat as you can, I guess. So it kind of looks like that, kind of centered the best you can. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to start out, there's a screw on the bottom, and you just loosen it off, and you're basically starting with the file. You're going from this end. There's a hash mark at the top here, one at the side, and that's basically to line this thing up. Because you're putting your file at the side, you want to use this hash mark here and kind of even it out. So you just kind of eyeball it. Looking at the top, everything looks pretty straight. The straighter you can get it, obviously, the better it's going to be. Tighten it up with the wing nut at the bottom. Make sure this is tight. It's got felt inside here too, so it doesn't scratch your broadhead at all. Take the finish off of it. I kind of hold it like this and take the rounded part of it and put it up against the broadhead, and then you're kind of just not applying a lot of pressure, but you're just kind of, I think, trying to keep your file pretty much straight across, not too far going this way or that way, and you're just filing it like this from one end to the other. So you're just going back and forth, and I tend to keep doing that basically until I can feel that there's a burr. And you'll go by the other side, you can feel it. It's like a little lip that's at the top. And I got a bit of one right there started. It doesn't take too much, especially once you've already sharpened them once. These have already been sharpened once. When you get them, they're kind of rough sharpened, so it takes a little extra work the first time, but after that it doesn't take very much at all to sharpen them. So you're just filing it back and forth like that, not too much pressure, and you'll feel that burr. So this here didn't take too many. You can flip it over on the other side, same thing again, resting the file against the wood, and you're basically removing the burr. Now you don't want a super heavy burr because, well, if you have a super heavy burr, it takes a lot to get it off with the ceramic crock sticks, and that's why Dave recommends for some people, if they make a heavy burr, that they can have the diamond hone, which is not quite this coarse, and it takes the burr off a little quicker. But I just take my time and kind of feel it, and I can feel that I got a little tiny bit of a burr, and you can feel that that's pretty sharp right now even. So, and you can just go back and forth. Pretty much, like, not much more than that's needed. Like, even I think that's how Fred Berry used to hunt with them, just like that with a file. So but you can go the next step. Obviously I got a bit of a burr started on that side, so I'm just going to touch it lightly just to get rid of it, so I don't have to work with the crock sticks so much. Like, that's pretty sharp. So now basically when you're using the crock sticks, now you're basically turning everything sideways like this, and that's why they give you the sets of holes here. So tighten it up. It's pretty straight. If it's not too straight, you can turn it. Make sure that it's lined up. I don't know if you can see that, but kind of centered. That's pretty good. Everything looks square. And then you can take the coarse ones here, put them in the first set of holes, and then you're just going back and forth. You don't have to put too much pressure on or anything like that. Depending on how heavy of a burr you made, maybe the first couple times, maybe only the first time, maybe not at all, you'll have a bit of a heavier burr. Once you get sharpen them a few times, then you won't make much of a burr, because you'll know that it takes a lot to get rid of it, so you'll avoid it. Like probably 10 times like that, that's pretty sharp. And then these ones are the fine ones, and they go on the outside. And then I'll run this like not too many times, but sometimes 5, 6, 7 times, really light. And that's it. You're just, that's pretty much ready right there. So that's just one side, mind you. You got to do the other side, of course. But now these broadheads also, these are glued in. They're about 32 grain inserts that went inside of here. So they're just hot melted in. You can shoot them on wood arrows too. I like them broadheads like this, because if you want to make the broadhead heavier, this is pretty much right at 200 grains, because these are about 165 grains, and then with the insert they come out about 200 grains. And so if you want to make them a little bit heavier, you can go get steel inserts, and they weigh anywhere from 75 to 125 grains, and you can put them in, and that would probably make this wind up being about 240 grains. Or else you can also use the brass inserts that fit inside the carbon shafts that have a taper on them, and you can glue them in so you don't have anything screwing in, just the brass insert. I just like these type of heads because the wide cutting diameter, and you can really basically make them almost any grain weight you want. Well, not less than, really 200 grains. They also make smaller ones too, but I just mean this style anyway. But they're pretty good. They fly pretty good. They go where I'm looking, which that's kind of what you're looking for with traditional, since you don't have any sights or anything like that. And I'll just show you one other thing I have too. This is like they call it a bunny buster, or a small game head, or a rubber blunt, or they got a lot of different names for them, but this is just a rubber blunt that they're not very expensive, a couple bucks. They just pop on, and I just took a field point and basically ground it down flat, and then put it inside a wire wheel so it's all nice and smooth. And I used it on a grain scale and basically put it on there like that, and that now weighs exactly 200 grains. So my field points are 200 grains. I always keep one of these small game heads stuck upside down in my quiver. That weighs exactly 200 grains, and well, that weighs 200 grains. So you have a little bit of leeway with traditional gear, where you could probably be 5-10 grains off, and it's not going to make a whole massive amount of difference. But if you can keep it at all the same, hey, all the better. And if you can shoot really straight arrows, everything helps, I guess. So, and maybe you'll be able to shoot, instead of shooting 25 yards really accurately with a longbow, maybe you can shoot 30. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Like I say, I didn't see any other YouTube video to do with the Simmons Steelmaster, and like I say, I saw very little about sharpening Simmons heads. And sorry Dave if I mentioned your name, just wanted to mention how helpful you've been and how nice you've been, and and basically everything that you said about the system and how easy it is was true. So if anybody is thinking about buying one, I wouldn't hesitate. I think they're pretty good, and it's pretty fast, and I like it. So just wanted to show it to you. Thanks.